Bismillah. Inna alhamdulillah. Salatu salam ala Rasulillah. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. Alhamdulillah. So we have reached, going to be inshallah reciting from the fourth juz of the Quran tonight inshallah. So I just wanted to share a beautiful passage in the Quran, just give a quick reflection on it. In the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal, gives various verses, and in between sometimes comes kind of a very important verse that Allah gives. Like if you imagine a kind of a necklace where there will be pearls, and suddenly continues after some pearls there will be a gem, then a pearls, then gem. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you recite the Quran wherever, you will find some beautiful gems coming in. So we need to reflect on them and get some good understanding of it so we can all benefit from it. One such place is in today's Surah Al-Imran, verses from 133 to 133 to 136, 137. Inshallah, very few small verses but huge amount of advice for us. Inshallah, Allah Azza wa Jal says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ أَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jal says, race towards the forgiveness of Allah Azza wa Jal. You have to race towards the forgiveness. So you will race something where there is a competition and there is a prize money fixed. So you see the prize money fixed and race towards it. So the prize money is already there. So Allah says race towards the forgiveness. So Allah is ready to forgive. There is forgiveness for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. He is there ready for us to give forgiveness. Allah says just race towards me. Race towards the forgiveness. And we have to race towards getting that forgiveness. Instead of racing towards this dunya, we race towards accomplishments for this dunya, whether it is whatever our accomplishments, we all know. But instead of that, focus on the forgiveness from Allah Azza wa Jal. For the reward of which is Jannah with the gardens, each one of us will have equivalent to the heavens and the earth. Each one of us, the person who's entering into Jannah, his garden would be, you can imagine, from the heavens to the earth. Subhanallah. So that is the one where you need to compete for. Not for these houses which are going to be destroyed after 20 years life, 30 years life, car 7 years, 8 years, it become rusty. You are running towards that. But whereas run towards the achieving of the forgiveness, so you'll be entitled for Jannah, which is heavens and earth width. And not only that, in this month, this is the perfect month for the forgiveness. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Amin to a dua of Jibreel alayhi salam. He made 3 duas. I will talk only about one dua. The rest of the duas is homework for you. The one dua, Jibreel alayhi salam said, let him perish, let him get destroyed, curse be upon him who entered into the month of Ramadan but didn't get himself forgiven. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Amin to this dua. The best of the angels is Jibreel alayhi salam. Best of the human creation is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The best of the angels made the dua. The best of the humans said Amin. Imagine the power of that dua. So that dua will never be rejected. So those who entered into the month of Ramadan but they didn't get themselves forgiven, they are cursed by Allah Azza wa Jalla. So by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have to get this ourselves forgiven in this month. We make a promise to our own self today that I will not let this month pass, but I get myself forgiven from Allah Azza wa Jalla. You do whatever you have to do. Get yourself forgiven. Not getting forgiven yourself, that itself is a great sin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all of us in this month. Ameen ya Rab. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla says, who are these people? Who are these people who race towards Him and race towards the forgiveness and entitled for Jannah? These are the people, the qualities. That's what I wanted to talk about. He says, Alladina yunfiquna fis sarra'i wad dharra. That's the first quality. They will spend in poverty and even in when they are rich. Prosperity, adversity. No matter whatever condition they have, they will spend in the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla. For them it doesn't matter. You have money or not. Whatever they have, they spend. And yesterday we discussed about the conditions of the spending. Today Allah says, Whether you have money or not, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are sick or healthy, whether some people are, when they get into calamities, they make an intention, I want to spend money. Some people, when they go down in the business, they will decide, Ya Rab, if you give me, my business goes up, I will pay money, I will pay in charity. No. Whether you are rich or poor, you are in a good condition, bad condition. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, he divides 4 kinds of people in terms of dealing with wealth. 4 kinds of people. Quickly, this is very important for us to know. The person whom Allah Azza wa Jalla has given wealth and knowledge, the first one. Wealth and knowledge, he spends in on the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla. He spends and pleases Allah Azza wa Jalla, uses his wealth and his knowledge. Allah gives him a reward for the spending. But there is another person. This person doesn't have wealth or doesn't have knowledge. But he looks at this person. He makes a wish. If Allah had given me also like him, I would have spent that money and knowledge on pleasing Allah Azza wa Jalla. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that both of them are same in reward. SubhanAllah. They both of them are same in reward. So this is what is spending in adversity and happy in prosperity, in rich and poor. But one thing we need to know here is how you will know when you don't have money. When you get money, you will spend. Allah will give you this reward. What you do when you don't have, whatever you have little, what you do with it. Because normally people will think, if I get money, I will spend. But right now, what you have, what you do with it. Whatever little you have. If you don't spend when you have $1,000, how can you spend when you have $1 million? So that is what the intention, that's what this sincerity comes in. Because these people, those who don't spend even $1 when they have $1,000, no matter they get $10 million, they're not going to spend. So that the sincerity, intention that if I get like him, I'm going to spend, that will show in your own actions. The other 2 people are the one who has the money and knowledge, but he uses to please his desires, spends it in the haram ways and enjoys in this dunya in haram. The third, he will get punishment for that. And the fourth one is the worst of the category. He says, if I have this money, I will be like him. It's going to nightclubs, having women and dancing and drinking and all those. So Rasulullah says both will get the same punishment. So this person, the first quality Allah Azza wa Jalla says, they anfiqu sarrai wa dharra. They say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, allazina yunfiquna fi sarrai wa dharra. The second quality Allah says, wal qadimin al ghayb. Qadimin al ghayb. Allah says, those who control their anger. Allah didn't say here they don't get angry. Every one of us sitting here, we get angry. Getting angry is a feeling of a human being. We have to get angry. If you see something wrong, if you don't get angry, if you be pleased, that is not a good character to have. But those who control their anger, that is something very difficult. But for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, you need to be patient and control your anger. That is a great quality. Rasulullah says the strongest person is the one who controls his anger. He is not the one who is full of muscles. Then third one, Allah Azza wa Jal says, wal afi'ina anin nas wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin. Afina anin nas, a person who forgives others. When you ask for forgiveness from Allah Azza wa Jal, and if you don't forgive others, there is no meaning. If you don't want to forgive somebody, but this month you stay in Layl and Tahajjud and Ya Rab, forgive me, astaghfir Ya Rab, astaghfirna Ya Rab, how can Allah going to forgive you? But if you don't forgive others who, you carry grudges in your heart, walk heavily with your burden, and have grudges and animosity and hatred for people in your heart, but you want Allah to forgive you, it's not going to happen. In an authentic hadith, Rasulullah says, on the day of Qiyamah, a person will come, Allah will ask, what is the story of this person? The angels will say, he doesn't have any goodness, Ya Rab. Then what did he do? Allah asks. He says, the angels will say, he used to lend money to people. When they are not able to return the money, he used to forgive them. He didn't used to go, he's a B lender, C lender. He doesn't go and take care, seize their house. He used to forgive them. Allah says, I am more forgiving than him. Tell him I forgive. SubhanAllah. Forgive others. and Allah will forgive. You let go, Allah will let go. You hold, Allah will hold. You let go. Clean up your heart. Make your heart light and feel the difference. When you go to sleep in the night, you don't have any grudges in your heart for anybody. You'll get an amazing sleep. So keep yourself light by forgiving others. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla says, these are the people Allah yuhibbul muhsinin. These are the people who are doers of good. And finally Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفِرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, these are the people who, when they know something is wrong, they stop right there. They don't continue doing it. When they do something wrong and Allah is reminded, Taqillah brother, fear Allah Azza wa Jal, they immediately pull back. They immediately stop doing that wrong. And they seek forgiveness from Allah Azza wa Jal. They don't say, you know what, look after your own business. You know, I am good. You are not a monitor over me. Let me continue what I am. No. They say, they do something wrong. Somebody reminds them of Allah Azza wa Jal. They immediately pull themselves back. And they immediately say, Ya Rab, forgive me, Ya Rab. Allah says, Allah will forgive. وَمَنْ يَغْفِرْ ذُنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. Who else other than Allah will forgive you? Scholars say that Shaitan cried so much when this verse was revealed, because he is behind a person for 60 years. He put him into all kinds of heedlessness. He took him to clubs, he took him to movies, he took him to women and everything. He never took him to masjid. He never took him for Umrah and Hajj. He kept him always in his luxuries, spent 60 years in desires. One day he realized and he went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, Ya Rab, forgive me, Ya Rab. Allah said, I forgive you. One sincere call he made, Allah forgave. All the 60 years of effort of the shaitan gone down the drain. Because Allah says, وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. Who else other than Allah can forgive you? And shaitan started to cry listening to this verse. So my brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is something very important, that the moment you know that is wrong, you get out of it. Not that, because our situation, our mentality is, when the Ramadan starts, we pack up the television, we pack up the Xbox, everything, we keep it only for 30 days. After that, we make up our mind right now that this is only temporary. We, till Ramadan don't watch television. We instruct our kids. Till Ramadan don't play the games. Meaning after Ramadan you can do. So we make up our mind before itself that we will not, this is restriction is only for 30 days. No, when you know something is wrong, you get out of it. When you know something in a haram relationship, when you know something you are in a riba, when you know something you are doing something in haram, which is against the command of Allah Azza wa Jal, you pull out of it. Do your best. Try your best. Ask help of Allah Azza wa Jal. Don't leave any stone unturned to get out of it. Allah is the help. Ask, Ya Rab, I am weak, Ya Rab. Help me, Ya Rab. My full intention is to get out of this habit which I have, this sin which I am in. Please, Ya Rab, I need your help to get me out of it. I ask you, is the strength, Ya Rab. Give me the patience, Ya Rab. Get me out of it. Allah will help you. Allah will pull us out of the difficulty. And Allah is waiting, as I said, Yusari'u ila maghfirah. Race towards the forgiveness of Allah Azza wa Jal. You will run something which is for you to achieve. It is there. Allah is waiting for us to forgive and run towards it. This is what is the verses from 133 to 136. So please go through it, and inshallah there are much more gems, but these are very few. Inshallah we will discuss more in the coming days. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.